Welcome to the Sons of Gunn Podcast, your unofficial look at everything happening in the DC universe. We are your Sons of Gunn. As always, my name, since the day I was born, Brian Matthew File. I go by Matt. And also with me, I'm not going to say his whole Christian legal government name, Jalen Blue, the
Your name's
other
Brian?
gun boy. I did that on purpose. Yeah, I knew you wouldn't know that.
I did not. Your real name's your first name's Brian.
Yeah, I feel like we did this dance at some point in the Discord, and everybody like freaked out. Yeah, my initials are literally BMF. Bad. Like I had teachers be like, "Please don't write your initials on stuff." And I, as a little kid, I didn't have a clue. But no, I was born Brian Matthew File, and the day I was born, my sister Melissa, who is 7 years older than me, 6 years older than me, 7. I think it's 7. She looked at my mom and was like, 6, 7. She was a little girl, 7-year-old girl, and was like, he looks like a Matthew. And so, like, they're in the hospital. They were like, he'll go by his middle name. And so.
Wow, you think you know a guy.
You think you know it.
You think you know a guy. Oh my gosh. How you doing, baby? How you doing?
I'm doing. I know it's taken a little longer tonight to get here than we wanted. We both had things kind of going on. Got to make sure the wifey boos are happy and settled since we are taking over areas. Well, not you. You're lucky. You get to like go and she can still have all her things. I am like in the central location of our entire house. When we do the podcast, I knock out kitchen and living room. If you're trying to use either of those things, you are tough luck, you know? So, no, Val had to work. I was telling you before we came online, Valerie's work team, she's in the events department of CU Athletics, so she does just that, events for the athletic teams, departments, as well as if anybody wants to use the spaces that are at the field for birthday parties, events, things like that, award ceremonies, they go through Valerie. So her whole team got to go tour the Broncos' new practice facility. And I know you're a huge Broncos fan, and I'm not a Broncos fan. They're not my number one team. Obviously root for them now that I live here. So that was super cool. She came home with some sweet swag that I showed you, but due to that, her night was prolonged, and it is already tough that we're an hour behind you. So, like, it's not that crazy late for me, and so I'm still hustling. But I'm like, dog, my night's just getting started. And old J-Bay over here is like, I gotta go to bed. I'm a peepaw. I get up at the sunrise, and so
I get up before Jesus, baby.
Yeah, my old ass, you would think I would be the one getting up at the crack of dawn and being like, I'm tired. I work from home. I get a little bit of leniency and leeway there where, I mean, I'm up in the morning. I don't want the world to think I'm some bum that's like sleeping all day. I am up in the morning. It pleased your God, people from Sandstone that listen to this. I am working in the morning. Jalen is just an hour ahead of us, and he goes in way before I'm expected on in the morning. So
really
early. Little 6-7 there. Little 6-7. Little 6-7. That's when Jalen wakes up. 6-7. More like 4-5. I get messages from you, and sometimes like there's been times I'm not asleep yet on like weekends, not necessarily on weeknights, but I'll get messages from you, and I'm like, he's gonna think I'm crazy if I respond right now. But that's just. That's how I've been my whole life. I've
you are up pretty late a lot.
I am a nocturnal being. How are you?
Dude, I'm really good. I had my softball tournament this past weekend because it was supposed to be last weekend, but it rained. We made it to the championship. We lost, unfortunately.
How many teams in the tournament? I know some teams don't always play in the.
We won. We were the top 6 in our league, so the top 6 it was 2 weekends of tournament play. The lower 6 had to play one weekend.
So they broke y'all up like an uppers and a lowers. That's how our league did too, and we were in the uppers as well.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. And y'all got rained out last weekend, right?
Yep. So we had to do it this week, which is good because it was like 105 and rainy, and then this week was like 78 and fine. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
that makes a difference. That makes a difference. Your boy dropped a few weekends ago. Like,
you got a little sick.
Yeah, I was Hal. I was way too confident, and I got shot. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But I felt like Hal. I literally made a joke last night to Valerie and was like, you know what this reminds me of? And she did not know where I was going with it. And I was like, me being sick at softball. And she was like, why? Because he's overly confident. And I was like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was underprepared. No, that makes a huge difference, like just the temperature and stuff. So how many games did you play overall?
3.
No, dude,
Wasn't
don't
bad.
downplay just 3. Like, it's still a lot.
It's a lot. But
playing more than 2, like if you play more than 2 games, like that, period, that's a lot. I think 2 is like the perfect number for a day. But I
get a little heated. I'm a little hothead when it comes to sports, and so there was.
And I'm not good enough to be.
Yeah.
I am too, and I don't back it up, which sucks. That's what's frustrating, is that I can get very frustrated, and then I do not do anything to help the team.
Me and one other guy good at chirping. That's about it.
Man.
But
luckily, my league, for the most part, everybody is friends. But
yeah,
and then chill. And then just, I'm not gonna lie to you, like coming off of that episode yesterday, like rolled me just like into. It had me in a good mood going to bed last night. It had me in a good mood this morning. Obviously, everyone, you can see that I, like, between episode 1 and 2, went out and got me a new lid that I absolutely love. And so, yeah, it is. It's newera.com. Go check it out. So this past week, they did announce that the Jimmy Olsen show has been greenlit and is, they even like said the official name of the show is going to be The People versus Gorilla Grodd, and it is going to be a documentary style, or in a documentary style, which I think is going to be cool. I think it might even like be Office like where they look at the camera, and like don't break the fourth wall, but like think they're talking to like a documentary team that's there with them. So Jimmy is this is what we know so far. James released what looks like a Metropolis Gazette, I think is what it's called, like newspaper headline that was really cool. Like it made you feel like in universe. It wasn't written to like be like tune into HBO. It was written like you picked up the newspaper in Metropolis. And
I have it right here if you want me to read it.
Yeah, go for it. I was about to say we should read it.
It says the Daily Planet announced today it will begin production on an 8-part documentary series that will dive back into Metropolis' most infamous murder trial. The People versus Gorilla Grodd will take a fresh 360-degree look at the case and revealing a lesser-seen side of the hyper-intelligent ape. According to the film's first-time director, Jimmy Olsen, Olsen was granted unprecedented exclusive access to interview Grodd inside Stryker Island Penitentiary for the documentary. Sorry, this is very bright and it's hard to read. Gorilla Grodd has long claimed his innocence in the murder and brain consumption of his father, King Grodd, a crime he was convicted of in March 2021. He has remained incarcerated for ever since. The series will take an in-depth look at the investigation, featuring brand new reporting from members of the Daily Planet staff, as well as interviews with witnesses and experts of both Grodd's and the Metropolis District Attorney's side of the case, including Gorilla Grodd's new counsel at the Metropolis Freedom Project. Everyone thinks they know Grodd, the power-hungry gorilla who kills his father for a throne of Gorilla City, says Perry White, managing editor of the Daily Planet and the documentary supervising producer. But once you start to look beneath the fur, you start to realize there's a lot more to the primate. Director Jimmy Olsen, supervising producer Perry White, producers Steve Lombard and Kat Grant, the voices of Metropolis.
Yeah, I read it out loud to Valerie as soon as I saw it. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. So, yeah, they're playing at one that, like, this is Jimmy's like directorial debut to the world. So that's cool. And then we get most, if not all, of the Daily Planet's team. You get Kat, you get Perry, you get Tom. I think there was only like one. That's the team that got in Mr.
The
Terrific
ship, right?
spaceship. I think there was one other guy maybe that didn't get named, but I bet he ends up being in the show. So that is so cool. I've said it a bunch coming off of me finishing Hawk with Will Ferrell and Jimmy Toro. I love him. I can kind of see now if like our Jimmy Olsen is trying to prove his innocence, that it was kind of hard for me to see how he was going to voice a gorilla, because he's so like dude bro-ish. Like in everything he does, he's usually like kind of he plays the cocky bully in a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so I could see them like forming a friendship, and now I can actually hear Jimmy Toro's voice in like a gorilla. It makes sense to me now. So I think it's gonna be, that answers a lot of questions. Like there's not gonna probably be any other villains. Like more than likely, it's gonna all be around Grodd. But we also now know there is Gorilla City, so there is a place that has a bunch of gorillas somewhere.
On trial for his father's murder is interesting. You would think that a gorilla's on trial for murdering another gorilla.
Well, yeah. Like, why would the government?
Care?
I guess, I think that's a fair question. We're laughing, but that would mean that they have given that city like
Apes
like
are people too.
Or not calling them. They may not be calling them humans, just like mutants in Marvel or metahumans in DC. But they're like, okay, we found y'all's Gorilla City. That's scary. That's y'all's. Y'all can have it, but like you can't just be like grabbing humans and like bring, like, you gotta follow by the law. I guess like that's the only way I can see it.
Yeah.
Like they can't just be lawless. And so I guess the government, is like, we have to treat it like us. And they're trying to say that Grodd killed him, and it's gonna probably be some other ape that trying to take throne.
What's more interesting to me is like when Gunn announced that, he says this was one of his original pitch ideas to DC, and I'm like, that's odd. That was one of
with
your original
Saffron.
pitches.
He said me and Peter together, and I was like, yeah, that's an interesting, if it's true, and we want to take it like it's true. That's very interesting that was in like their first little bucket that they wanted to give. And now like he could say that they did that and nobody would like fact check him, and it just looks good on paper because we haven't been able to roll anything out for a while. But I hope that, I mean, if it was a part of his original like plan, that would help me feel better about the project being good. But I just like, I think we're good now, dude. Like I think DC, I'm probably getting a little overzealous, but like I think that like
we're cooking.
I think we're back. I don't think we ever drop.
We're back, baby. We're back.
All that negativity like around Supergirl, like there's only been like one or two times. I think the other day I said something, maybe it was when we were doing the draft. I was like, I haven't seen any negativity online about Lanterns like at all. This show is making me more excited than Superman got me, and I loved Superman.
Yep. But let's get into it. This is our initial reactions. Let's continue what you're saying. We're in initial reactions. Keep going with what you're saying. That was great.
Okay, sorry. This show is like making me as still a newer podcaster, somebody that's kind of new to doing all this, like. It's making me excited to like do all the stuff we have to do, if that makes sense. Like, not that I'm never not excited to do.
No, I know what you're saying. It's easier to hop on here and want to hop on here and discuss it.
Oh, I was chomping. I was legit worried, and I know never to like worry about you if like I'm running behind. We're on different time zones. It's just we do what we got to do. But like I wasn't just nervous about that. Like I like legit was like anxious to just get here and start
Mm-hmm.
talking. And you can see I do this a lot, but I over jump our sections of the show because I get so excited. And my wife, who we've talked about a
Mm-hmm.
lot on this podcast, who a lot like yours likes to watch to just have something else to do with me, but like genuinely, if it's a good story, she'll continue to watch it, and if it's not, she'll leave. Loves it. She loves it. She's looking stuff up on her phone, like during the show, and like hitting me with like, "Who's Sir? Who's Sinestro?" And I'm like, "Hold up, I will tell you." And yeah, like talking to our friends and our fans in the Discord that are like, I know I sent you a message last night. I think it was just me and you being overly excited and like running to that thread, and like we were typing all this stuff, and I knew it. I said to Valerie, I go, he fell asleep.
I did. I
And
did.
I
No
knew,
one.
well, and I knew that. I was like, it's already gotten kind of late. Like the show ends kind of late.
And no one was
And
responding. So I was like,
nobody
I'm
was
gonna.
responding, and I sent you a message like either nobody cares what we're saying or nobody's watching, and it's both of those are kind of blowing my mind. Not to blow smoke up our rear ends and say like we're so good, like you have to be listening to us, but it was just so different from the first week because everybody was engaging with us. And then I was just like sitting there, and I knew you had fallen asleep and nobody was saying nothing. And so I kind of put my phone away and started talking to Val about it. And we were searching stuff and answering stuff. And I was like seeing if there was already like Easter egg things on YouTube. And I went back to Discord, and it had like popped off like out of nowhere. And it was fun. Like it was a
It
little
was.
overwhelming because you weren't there at first, but it was fun. Like Valerie like got a kick out of it because she was watching me like try to keep up with stuff, and like she like went to the restroom and came back and like asked me a question, and I was like, you gotta give me just like 5 minutes. And she was like, are you catching up that much? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, that's good. um so it just brings another level of excitement. This is a new universe and franchise as it is, and so we haven't struggled per se, but like just getting new projects is awesome. And it's just the series is different from a movie. Like you get to live with the series for a month and a half, and
Mm-hmm.
like do all these guessing game stuff. When a movie, like you have like a few months, you don't want to oversaturate it going into it. You talk about it a little bit, you go once, come back, you talk about it one or two more times on your podcast. And so,
Right.
yeah, man,
No,
I'll
I
stop.
agree
I'm
with you.
ranting. I will stop.
No, no, I agree with you because last night I went to bed, like you said, I was so jazzed. I was waiting for more people to kind of respond. I guess they were just a little bit behind us. I ended up falling asleep. Woke up this morning to all those floods, so I kind of went through it when I
Did
remember
you
I
see
got to
where I
work.
like eventually got overwhelmed? I had to like send a voice message. I was like,
I
I can't
did.
type. I can't type all this, so
So
I'm gonna just talk.
all that positivity was great. I actually went to Twitter today and it was all positive, which was blowing
Wow.
my mind. I didn't see any negative stuff. Everyone's loving the show, so that was great. And then today I went to the comic store. I go every Monday before I go to the mother-in-law's, and I go in there and I see my normal guys. He dabs me up, goes, "What's up, Jalen?" I go, "What's going on?" And it's him and like two other workers. We're the only ones in the shop right now, and so I'm like, kind of put it out there. I'm like, is anyone watching Lanterns? I ended up sitting there for 40 minutes because everyone's talking to me about the Lantern show and how great it is. And like one guy goes, dude, I've already bought 3 omnibuses. I've never read a Green Lanterns comic. I've already
Oh wow.
like one of these giant omnibuses. They're like 120, like $125.
That's
They're a
awesome.
lot of money. He bought 3 of them. He's like, I wanted to know more about the Lanterns. The show has me so intrigued. I'm like, dude, that's like amazing. Like that's so people are talking about it, people are loving it. I think it came out after episode 1 that it broke HBO Max's record for
Oh,
like
I didn't know
most
that.
views. It
That's awesome.
outperformed like I think it was like House of Dragon or something like that for the number
Wow.
one episode on a premiere drop. It's doing really great. I think it's still got like a 90 something percent on critic scores and all that stuff. So we're not crazy. This is a good show. It's fun to be here.
We're not
It's
crazy,
so
y'all.
refreshing. It's
It
just
is.
so fun to be here now.
And it's cool to look, there's still a ton of stuff about the Lanterns, Green Lanterns, all the other Lanterns that I have no clue about. But one, watching the Ryan Reynolds movie was like perfect. It was perfect just to like dip your toes in the lore and like get some names and see how some stuff works. Like, look, we said 3 podcasts ago, we're not saying it's a good movie. Look, we're openly saying it's a bad movie. We'll say it. Ryan Reynolds says it. The world says it. It's a bad movie. But it helped to get
your mind right.
My mind right. It was the best get my mind right that we've done so far. Like, even when we did all the Superman stuff before Superman, not that those things hurt our Superman, but our Superman was so drastically different than all of those, especially the very last iteration before him, that look, I love Man of Steel. That was one of the few that I loved, that I really, really liked. It's a very different take on Superman, but I like that movie, so I'm not hating on it. But Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds helped. I said in the Discord today, obviously it being DC and good is gonna make me happy, because that helps us. And then obviously it being superhero genre and stuff like that makes it fun. But like the fact that it's like HBO and it's like coming up to bat against all of those like heavy hitter HBO series and doing like everything that it can to just be like, hey, yeah, I'm supposed to be here.
We joked about that last week when I said Stewart fails to save the universe, but it's actually beating that. And Stewart's number 2. And when you think about it, that's a Big Bang Theory, and that does have a pretty big following in itself. So it's pretty huge that it's even outperforming that. I say we move on to what worked, because I think we're going to spend probably a good chunk here. Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You go first.
Me? Okay. One of the first things that really was one of the things that, like, what worked for me again was Hal trying to uncover kind of like that mystery of what's going on, and him going to the town hall meeting and the Makan farm. Those 2 scenes with him and his dynamic with Sheriff Carrie, with their little flirtatious and chemistry.
I laughed so hard today when you tagged me on that Twitter account and you were like, you're not crazy, or whatever you said about me when I was complaining about the ages of the Makans or whatever the family. It's just that family. Everybody else's ages is pretty spot on.
Yeah. But but Hal with Carrie is really one of my positives. I think their chemistry on screen together is huge. Hal does some funny moments calling her, like with the honey and him responding. I was like, "Oh, your marriage isn't going well." It's like he's trying to hit on her.
Going well? I laughed so hard when he did that.
He's so charismatic, and you've been like I said last week, you've been telling me about him, but man, he is where's Kyle Chandler been this whole time? He is a gem of an actor.
In Taylor's Tech or wherever in Tech, I'm gonna get shredded for not remembering, but he was in Texas coaching football, bud. That's where he's been.
How is he not more?
He is a huge. He is. You just have probably missed him in some stuff. Like, he's in Wolf of Wall Street, like I told you with Leo. He's in one of the Godzilla movies.
He is.
And then there's plenty of other things that I'm forgetting. Those are just off the top of my head. But yeah, his biggest name to fame is, I think it's 7 seasons, 8, 9 of Friday Night Lights.
He's definitely awesome. Got me wanting to seek out more of him, because this is definitely been, I think him alone's been the huge spotlight for me through 2 episodes. I think I was going and just expecting probably John to shine for me with Aaron Pierre, but I think I like Kyle Chandler's performance better. And Aaron Pierre's still doing like a top-notch job. I'm not saying he's not.
It's just he doesn't speak in that accent. How crazy is that? He's on the level of Charlie Cox, that's the actor for Daredevil, and Tom Holland, that are British and like do really good American accents. Like Pattinson's gotten there, and
Mhm.
Val always kind of like laughs at Pattinson or when like Harry Styles does an American accent. But Aaron Pierre kills it, man. He
He does.
there's no slip ups, and
Both Lanterns are really good actors.
yeah,
Really good actors. Number two, um, for me would probably be like the mystery itself is still there and it's still hitting every week, and yet they're still giving me crumbs that fill a question I had for one thing, but it also leaves like another like two more questions of what's going on, and it just leaves me so intrigued. And I think that's what's best about like this week to week format for the show is
yeah.
it keeps you wondering and wanting to come back every week. If this was dropped all at once, it would not work as well, but
I
this
would have already
storyline
watched
going
the
week
whole
to week
thing.
is amazing.
There's no way I would have like not been able to wait for Valerie. I would have
No.
binged the whole thing. Um, no, I was gonna say this earlier and kind of got stuck in a cycle of like talking about something else. But I think one of the biggest reasons I love this show so much is because I love true crime so much. Like
Mhm.
when Valerie and I drive across the country to go to South Carolina for the holidays or Mississippi, that's all we listen to in the car. Like we literally
Favorite
download
serial killer, who is it?
favorite. See, I don't necessarily have favorites. I just like a good story. Um,
Which serial killer has the best story for you that intrigued you the most? I know it's a side plot. Real quick, we don't have to go
yeah,
into it. I just want to know which one you got.
probably like as lame as it is, probably Jeffrey Dahmer. Like
Dahmer.
that's just
Okay.
like an easy one. Also, like a lot of the podcasts that I like aren't necessarily like the Black Dahlia is a good one as well. But they're usually not like famous stories. Like they're
Mhm.
about some guy that's like working on a barge in the Mississippi River and like gets off of work from working like 2 weeks on, then gets 2 weeks off and like goes missing in the parking lot or some crazy
Yeah.
stuff where like
Like that.
you're
Yeah.
listening for like 20 episodes, but it's like this. You leave each episode being like, hit play. Me and Valerie will be like so sleepy driving, and I'll be like, it'll be such a good episode, and I'll be like, put it in my veins, hit play. And like this does that for me. Look, I'm always gonna get jazzed over good superhero stuff. Like
Absolutely.
Marvel puts out good stuff, I'm gonna love it. I loved Peacemaker, but there's just something different to this, and I think it's the thrill. I'm a thrill seeker,
Hmm.
and I've become not to like get into the sappy side of life, but I became more of a thrill seeker like once I got in recovery and stuff to like get help from pain pills because of my kidney stones that I had, and like so I love roller coasters and I love going through like the corn mazes where like the haunted people chase you and like you have to sign waivers and stuff like that. And I love horror movies. Valerie doesn't like them, so I don't watch them as much, but I like that thrill. I think it's like something that has been like a healthy replacement there. And so true crime, I think, initiates that, and shows like this initiate that. And I watch a ton of true crime documentaries too. So I think I said this on the last episode. A lot of people were really worried about, oh, it's just going to be space, like True Detective, like space cops. And they've even like leaned into that, like really hard with Macon being like, what's the
Hmm.
reason? What's the reason for space cops? It's so cool seeing him in the position he's in this show, and I'm watching Fear the Walking Dead. I know I say that every
It's your
week, but
boy.
like he's just like teared up, like, and
Yeah.
he's good in that show, and he is great at being that. Like, it's such his character is so weird. Somebody said it, Jan said it perfect earlier. He was like, it's like he's not to get political, but it's like he's kind of woke, and then the things that are coming out of his mouth are woke, but the things you're seeing in front of you are like Republican MAGA, and so like it's just he can do both. It's and he's perfect at him. He like stays on
Hmm.
that fence, and it keeps you guessing what the hell is going on, and we truly don't know. Like people in the Discord are like, "Who's his boss?" So yeah, but like that works too. Like his acting of being sketchy, and like that's the exact words Valerie said. She was like, sketchy. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
he's great at it.
Episode 1, we thought these aliens were like, oh, they're the Manhunters that they killed. That's who these are.
Yeah.
Then we
I
learned
thought
this
they
episode.
were all the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Then we learned this episode. No, those aliens the 4 that died at the shooting and the 1 were not Manhunters. They were a different alien who were were they trying to find the Manhunter to kill them? Is that what that Anton character who kidnapped John was saying? Is like,
I think that's what we were supposed to believe, that they were like being covert and had been like
trying to find the Manhunter to get rid of him,
and then like knew he was there and like was gonna happen as the game ended. And I guess how did he kill 4 of them? Because he did that in front of a bunch of people.
Yeah. So,
or maybe not.
Who did the kill? Who did the shooting? Do you remember who it was? Waylon, the one who died. Okay.
Yeah.
And he
only the whole town could be aliens.
But he did the shooting, and there was 3 other people, and the 3 other people were aliens, correct?
4.
The 4 other people were aliens. Were they the same race as him? So he only shot his own, or was Waylon different from those other?
Waylon is what I think we can assume was a manhunter. I think that's what Waylon was. And then Anton's team, which we'll probably find out they're not too good of people either. The other 4 were shot by Waylon. That's what I took from it.
And they were there to find the Manhunters, because the Manhunters wiped their race out.
And Hal pulled out. It was either 4 or 3, because he had a dead body in the front seat, and for sure 2 in the back. I think he had 3 in the back.
3,
I think
and
he
then
had
Waylon was a 4th dead body.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's 2 separate aliens. I took it a step further, and I looked into Anton and whatever his name is. I looked at Valor and I go, okay, I guess aliens are New York mob bosses now, because he was such. At first I was like, dang, what organization is this guy with? Which I know the actor, I should remember his name. He's awesome at that. Like, he's awesome at doing mob that. Awesome. And it's so when he told us that they were aliens too, I like went and looked at the cast, and he had his name on the cast, and so I looked up that name from the comics. And yeah, not to spoil, I don't want to spoil anything, but it was surprising to understand like what he does in the comics, and maybe that's why Hal doesn't trust him. And like as soon as he gets back, John doesn't trust them, and as soon as he gets back, he tells Hal. But I don't understand, how 4 or 3 of them, 4 of them were stalking, hunting, watching. Oh no, they rushed the field. That's why. So maybe they just took it as like, this is a good moment because there was chaos going around. That makes more sense, and I'm saying it out loud. But like, how did Waylon get the 1 up on 4 of them? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially, they would be probably like the top people that they would send down there, wouldn't you think? Like, they wouldn't send chumps, I don't think.
And so like what's also really cool is like the alien device that like registers, they look at the metal detectors, but the alien detectors.
Yeah.
Does that also detect manhunters or just other transforming aliens? So they're alien detecting devices, but they're in a town that's holding the manhunters. So I would assume.
And where did Makan get that from?
Yeah, and I think that's what Hal's like. He's like, how did you even have this technology? Because I've gone across multiple galaxies, and I have yet to come across anyone who has a device that's able to register aliens. How'd you come across this?
Yeah, it's crazy.
The thing. But like, do the manhunters register on that? Because if so, and like, let's say the town has the manhunters, they're not being registered. Is it just the other aliens that are trying to kill them, like Anton's people? Like, that's who it's registered.
I took it as Makan was getting them for all aliens. That's the way I took it, because he comes across like, I mean, he's just been like, the people that lived here before me got caught with their pants down, or whatever he said. He didn't really say that, but essentially colonization. And he was like, the Indians like got this land taken from them, from colonizers. I am not going to have that happen. I'm not going to get caught with my pants down. But then, yeah, that goes into like who the heck is like, who would have the power to give him that much land and all that kind of stuff. We can get to that in a bit. But
a couple other just like real quick, what works for me is like the visuals and action all feel real. And I think what like helps with that is the fact that we shot on site and the town feels real. The landscape looks real whenever they do like a paneling over the town, which is crazy because in the year 2026, we got no set leaks of the show at all. And for it to be an on-site showing and for us not to get that, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate
the
that.
suit leak was literally when he opened the closet in the episode. Like, that was our first time seeing the suit. Was
3 suits.
That we saw that in the show, so that wasn't like a set leak of the suit. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even think about that. That we never got any like anything leaked at all.
And I just appreciate that we, at least it looks like that they shot on site and they didn't have to do like the surround stage, sound stage.
None of it looks
very
like
CGI.
That. I mean, the first time when he went to space at the end of this episode was the first time, and it literally registered, and I said it out loud to Valerie. I go, this is the first time something looks CGI. Well, no, the second time when he shoots off and it like shows him flying. Oh, that's the same scene where it shows him like flying over the earth, and that's the same scene. But then like once he's even inside, and I have a question for you about that jail. Whenever we want to ask that, but
let's do it now. Go ahead.
Okay, so well, one, that place, it looked CGI. It's in space, of course, but it looked really good. Like it looked way better than the way they had the headquarters look in Ryan Reynolds' movie. And once you got in there with Sinestro, it looked completely real. Like there wasn't much to see, but it looked real. And he's all real, you know? But my question for you was that the Lantern's headquarters, or was that just some random, like, galactic jail that Sinestro's being held in?
See, I'm not sure, because it looked like he just flew off to another part of Earth, and it looked like the ice
then
part.
it's
like,
like
well, that
pans up, and you see... That's what I thought at first. I was like, it looked like he was flying to, like, the Arctic, or, like, the North, one of the poles. But then when it pans to it, you're like looking through like a crack and you see like a ship fly over, you know, as it pans up to like him walking across like a bridge to the thing. So you saw like a spaceship flying up there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was Oa or not. I found it pretty weird that it didn't, like, usually like in Marvel, if we go to a different planet,
it would
like a little clip will say what it is there, and I was expecting.
And they've done that on this show. They have with the dates at least. Like they've given present day in 1990, whatever, and 2016 and 2026. That's weird they left that out.
I'm gonna assume this was somewhere on Oa and as like their prison planet, but I don't want to go on. I don't want to say for sure because I'm kind of like you. I'm confused on it. I was happy to see more of the cosmic comic side of it, of seeing him go to, like, let's say it is Oa, seeing the alien technology even there at the prison with the voice command, seeing Sinestro, seeing the suit, seeing the flying, him wearing his suit. That all just really got me jazzed because I'm like, oh, here's our superhero part of it. And it just got me more jazzed for next week.
Which, like, still, it got me jazzed, but it also, like, confused me because, one, he didn't ever want John to bring that back to Nebraska. Like, he openly said, don't bring the suit. And he did, and John, like, makes the smart aleck remark. And so I thought we were to believe, like, he hasn't gone to see the Guardians, he hasn't wore the suit, he hasn't backed stuff up, he hasn't done anything for, like, 10 years. Which, one, I was like, why would you travel without your lantern if you know it's gonna die? Side note, I think it's really interesting that the lantern, like, talks to you like an AI. Or the ring talks like an AI.
Yes.
Like a Jarvis type stitch. It, like, had a countdown, like, when he was flying, trying to look over the creepy town that had nothing going. Yeah, battery die in 3, 2. and he fell. And I was like, huh, I don't know if that's been a thing in
I
Green
clocked that
Lantern
too.
lore. He also charged it like super fast. Like he literally, it charges as quickly as you say the like quote, because he said it like
Both,
super duper fast.
which there's something going on with Hal. He's saying the oath quick. He didn't want the
He's
oath
annoyed.
said in the first episode. He doesn't want
He
to wear
asked
his suit.
John if he spoke to the Guardians.
He has to,
So
like, there's
that's
something
another thing.
going on
John
there.
can, if he wanted to, John could speak to the Guardians. So that's another piece to it. But John said, even though he was frustrated, he goes, "No, I answer to you," and like slammed the door. That was wild. It's wild that his lantern was in a pocket dimension.
Yeah, yeah. Like we're this is our third project now that has a pocket dimension between Superman, Peacemaker,
He just says it
and
just
this.
nonchalantly. He's like, "It's a pocket dimension, Junior," and I was like, "Oh, just a pocket dimension." I thought he was gonna stick his hand in there, and it was gonna flip to the other side, and like Cena was gonna be like sitting up against a tree, and like a hand was like, and I was, because like I think of pocket dimension and I think of salvation, or I think of whatever the stupid thing that Lex had.
Yeah. My last positive what worked for me was actually I'll have two. One is John having his coffee break with Zoe and having that whole "how's your white man" talk with each other over coffee.
Yeah.
That was really fun. And then also the more mystery, more intriguing side of John is he made a living construct, which is already crazy, having a bird. And then when he took off the ring, said construct was still there and he was unconscious, got beat up, went across the country, still had the bird and came back, which is something that's never been done. It's it's a feat in itself to create a living construct for Guardians. Like that's just a whole tier itself. But then to have something still be a construct once you take off the ring is a whole nother what's going on tier. And I think that's what Sinestro was hinting there at the end. It was like the Manhunters are the second biggest problem. You got tell me about John Stewart, because I think he knows there's a lot of potential here. I don't know how that refers to as the threat to Hal, but there is definitely showcasing that there's something weird going on with Hal, and John has all this potential for a Green Lantern.
And John seems so like nonchalant about all of it too, because he was like, "What's up with the bird?" Like, it's got to mean something. And I kind of thought that it meant something too. Like he was like, "Just think flight," and like he did the twice, which was really funny. And so I was like, "Oh, well, like his mind constructed flight as just like a little bird, and that's just like a part of his training." And when he was like, "Don't let it die, bring it back," I was like, "Okay, it'll be like a cool little like bonding moment." But then like once we were getting more information, and Hal asked John that, and he goes, "It's just a bird," and he like does his hand, and it like Thanos
Fizzles.
is off. Yeah, it goes off like that.
Thanos.
It just seemed so like, yeah, like you said, he was beat up, knocked out, and the bird stayed the whole time. I don't think John was really doing, like, I don't think he was having to do too much. And that's what is scary, is that he's not really like even kind of scratching his full potential, and he can just like have a living construct with him at all times. But how does Sinestro even know who John Stewart is?
Yeah.
If he's in jail.
And John's only been around for 2 months too, so it's not like he's been around and Sinestro's probably been able to hear about him.
I think that's where that actress that you've been talking about some is going to come into play, that we all think might be
Laura
a Guardian.
Linney.
I think she's going to be kind of the connective piece to Sinestro knowing stuff, but also she's either going to be, this sounds so stupid because you can only have one way or the other. She's either going to be on like the bad side of the Guardians or the good side of the Guardians. And I know that sounds like really stupid, like of course she is, but it's a bigger deal. Like if the Guardians are doing like all shady stuff, like that's a huge deal. It's also a huge deal if like there's just one of them doing shady stuff with just Sinestro, and that is what turns into the Yellow Lanterns. That's where I lean towards.
The lore drop by Carrie was pretty interesting. Yeah, like she said something like there was a coup, he killed a boss, and he got imprisoned. I'm like, oh, so
And
I'm
you
guessing he
caught him.
killed a Guardian. I'm assuming he killed one of the Guardians.
Tried to do a takeover,
Definitely.
and Hal stopped him.
Yes. I loved hearing that. I loved seeing Sinestro. I think he looks amazing. I think he looks really cool.
He looks.
I kind of hope we get to see him in a yellow suit because that'd be cool, or even his green suit. And I hope he's a character we keep around for a while.
James keeps saying that Lanterns leads directly into Man of Tomorrow. So something's gonna happen here that I don't know. I know I said this a few weeks ago. I was like, is there any correlation between any of them and Brainiac? Because like that is the confirmed villain for Man of Tomorrow. There may be other villains, but like he's the guy.
Which makes sense now. Like if an alien invasion's coming, and it would make sense now to have these Guardians there to help stop them because of all this. So it's making more and more sense that John would be there.
But why? I guess where I start getting confused is like, why are Manhunters coming to Earth to try to like hide? Are they coming to Earth that just even because they're bad guys at the end of the day, they know Brainiac can just wipe them all out, so they're trying to hide?
Well, remember they said there was one left, and the Lantern came. There was one left on Atan's planet. The Lantern came, picked him up with the promise of execution. And then Hal made the comment that must have been Abin Sur. Basically, the thing is, Abin Sur had the Manhunter in his
Wayland
space. Had a Manhunter in his spaceship, and then when they crashed, it got released there in town, and somehow the Manhunter's there in town.
But we don't know if they were like purposely coming to Earth or if that just happened off of like the crash.
As far as what's been confirmed is there was one alive, and he got there through Abin Sur's crash, and maybe they've multiplied since, but it's all connected. So and I bet you we will get a flashback scene to it with it. We talked about last week. I think we're going to see it.
I think the wreck happened
on the
ranch. Yeah, I think there's a spaceship on that thing. I think they might have Abin Sur's body, and that because it happened there. Oh my god, why am I figuring this out right now? Because it happened there. Somebody was like, okay, y'all own this, and like y'all need to run it just like a good old boy country thing, and you need to build a militia to protect it, and that's it. But we don't know. Again, we don't know. When I say that out loud, that makes me think more government side than like galactic side. That seems more like somebody in the United States knew, a high-ranking official knew that the crash happened and is like trying to. That makes me think of Waller. That's the first person I would go to. I don't know. That seems pretty like on the nose. Like that seems like almost too, because she's always been involved in everything else bad DC. But I had somebody in Discord today say it couldn't be Waller because in 2016 Waller was sending Suicide Squad to fight the Enchantress, and I was like, hold up. We don't know if any of that is canon. All we know is that Flag Jr. was with the Enchantress, and the Enchantress looked like the Enchantress from that movie. That's all we know.
Well, we don't know if she looked like that. It could be a totally different look.
Okay, yeah, that's even fair. Like, we don't even know if it's that. Yeah, so I was like, we can't go down that rabbit hole yet. Like, we can't even, like, try to say that that is canon, because I don't think we want to. No,
because
there's a Batman
was movie. Actually in it.
Yeah, and a Joker.
Yeah. All right, any more what worked before we move on to the next one?
John getting shot, it worked for me. That's it. I just thought it was funny.
You mean Hal?
Hal. Yes, Hal getting shot. Once he got the lantern, I did think it was cool that, like, Jan, I think, in the Discord said the lantern was essentially like throwing some dirt on it from like the lantern side of things. Like it didn't fully heal him because he's rushing around so much, but it got him well enough to like take it out of a sling. That was cool. That was not something I didn't know the lantern could heal you.
I caught. Yeah, I didn't catch that either. But that is pretty interesting that since then. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, what didn't work? Gonna be pretty short, I think, topic.
The ages.
Besides
we saw a post about it on the internet, so
yes,
I'm not stupid to think that their ages are weird.
It is. It was so funny when I saw that. I'm like, I gotta send this to you.
And let me just speak for 2 seconds on that. We're talking about the actors and actresses' ages of the family. So, mom or wife, husband of Makan, the sheriff, the lawyer. The sheriff and lawyer are married. In real life, the actress that plays the sheriff is 51 years old. The lawyer is 47. That's not that crazy, but it's still kind of weird. The mother-in-law is like 56 or 57, and then Makan is 61 in real life. So from day one, like the family dynamic felt just kind of weird. And then like once John sat down with, what's the character's name that he hooked up with?
Zoe. And
like we really got to hear her talk and like be there. They just feel like they would be friends instead of like, I don't know. And it bothers me, and you found a link to it, and it bothered somebody else too. But I can look past it because they're all great actors and actresses at the end of the day. The sheriff does remind me of Winona Ryder from Stranger Things at times, where she's a little too ditzy for her position, and she's like demanding respect and for how to stop cutting her legs out from under her, but she's like always like, I don't know. It's just, I love Winona Ryder too. Yeah, like it just always felt like Winona Ryder in Stranger Things just always had like this look on her face, and it kind of seems that way for the sheriff.
You did a good look at it. You did a pretty good job at that, by the way.
It is like her eyes are just always like up, like she's like freaking out, like even when she's mad or happy. It's just kind of, it's strange, but that is literally, I think that's my only complaint. We didn't talk about something that was really, really cool in that episode, but I don't want to talk about it in the bad stuff. So stay on bad stuff for now.
All right. Another thing, two things that, well, one that didn't work for me was a little odd was, at one point during this episode when I saw Hal take off for flight, I kind of caught it as a little odd, but I just don't think Hollywood or superhero shows have really mastered the taking off for flight, because you can tell like the transition between them preparing for the chords and when they get up to like jumping,
or when they land,
CGI it,
or when they land,
landing, yeah. It's
I'm probably gonna
a little weird.
Yeah, it is always a little weird. I'm probably going to upset some of our listeners for this, so I apologize. I'm on my MCU rewatch, and I'm getting to almost the end. I just finished Captain America, Brave New World, and then watched Fantastic Four after that.
Ooh.
And those were both
I'm on Secret Invasion.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
I said I'm on Secret Invasion, but keep going.
Which... this does better there.
Anyway,
and my wife pointed that out. She was like, she said, "Ooh, scrolls," and I went, "What?" And she's like, "I'm just kidding." And I go, "Do you know what you're talking about?" And she goes, "Kind of." And I was like, "Secret Invasion." I go, "This is what Secret Invasion should have been." Every episode, she was like, I had to explain what Secret Invasion again was, like Nick Fury, and she was like, "Oh, yeah, we were supposed to be like, who's done it the whole time?" And it was just Nick Fury against the Skrull. And I was like, yep. So she caught that. But those have a lot of, it has a lot of CGI, and it has a lot of characters that fly in it. They have Captain America more than Fantastic Four. Sam's flying and landing in Captain America, especially during the Red Hulk scene, it's just bad. It's just bad. Like when he's landing in the cherry blossom trees. Yeah, and you know when he lands to fight Harrison Ford, and they got the cherry blossoms. Like that is,
Is
bro,
it rough?
when you rewatch it, it's wolf. It's like it's downright wolf. And I'm sorry, I know
I
there's
should
some
be
people
there
in
by
here.
the end of the week.
It's tough. And this does so much better than that. Like it really does. Like I truly didn't notice. I personally, I'm glad if you were eagle-eyed and you did notice it. I thought every time Hal took off, it surprisingly worked and looked good for me. And anytime like he was coming into frame or out of frame, that switch from human to like CGI that looks like them kind of will be funky at times. I thought it did good, and I guess it helped to come from something where I was like really noticing it. And
Probably, yeah. I'm just
Fantastic
nitpicking
Four,
at this point to find something because
no, for
it's so
sure,
hard
for
to
sure.
find something.
And Fantastic Four was good to have before it too, because Fantastic Four is so CGI heavy too, because they're in like a fake city, you know. And
Right.
somebody is literally a CGI person or thing in that. So it was good. Again, like the on location stuff is very noticeable in Lanterns that like you know that they
Yeah.
were at places filming. And so that's just a good feeling. We'll have
Yep.
to judge like real CGI. I mean, I guess we can. This was a good thing that we left out that I thought was funny, and we can judge some CGI on this. Earl, was his name Earl?
That was my next thing to bring up. I was like, what was up with that? It reminded me of the plant
Um,
from the Harley Quinn show.
it does look like the plant from the Harley Quinn
Brain?
show that
Is
is
it?
voiced by Beast Move from
Mhm.
the Spider-Man movies. Harley, what you doing?
He
But
cracked me up.
it also looks like the guy from Little Shop of Horrors, which is a thing on Broadway. It's a big talking Venus flytrap. That's what it was. It looked like an alien Venus flytrap that
Yeah.
ate
What was up? What
beef.
was up with them?
It's just
Why did he
Hal's
have that?
pet. It's just
Was it
Hal's
just to
pet.
keep? But I mean, like, what was the point of that in the show right now? Like, what?
I think it was just another test for John. Like he was already sending him there as like the errand boy to get the lantern, and he wasn't there, and he knew that it needed to be fed. Like it'd be like if you left your dog and all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
but why put that in the show? Is what I'm saying. Like, why
I
have?
think I think it was just to show how outlandish Hal is at home, just like the pictures with Harry Potter and Barack Obama and the Pope. I think it was just another like because he kept being like, excuse my language, fucking Jordan. Like he would say it like after he saw
Yeah.
that, when he saw the bedroom. I think it was like a Family Guy-ish like running joke. Like every turn was just gonna be something crazy to get you like thinking this is more of a comedic part of the episode, and then he gets jumped, and you like quickly are like, oh no, like it went from funny
Yeah.
to this. But yeah, why does Hal Jordan have a living? Why does Hal do what he does? You know, I think it's just
Yeah.
as simple as that. Why is Hal Hal? Those pictures were funny
Understand.
though. Those pictures were hilarious.
They were funny. They were pretty good.
Did you
and,
see how I answered that to somebody? And I think that was fair. Somebody was like, "How do the presidents work in DC and compared to Marvel?" And I was like, "From my understanding, DC always does like actual real presidents. Like Barack Obama was in that picture with Hal. We know that younger Barack Obama was in uh, Legends of Tomorrow from CW. So I think it's fair to think like." In 2026, like Trump is the president in DC. I think that's just kind of the way that they go about it, and they don't.
I love Superman. He's a really good alien. He's one of the good
Even though
ones.
he's an alien, he's gonna have
Even
to
though he's an
sign up for the
alien.
green card. It might be his best, it might be his worst. I'm not saying
See?
I am super. Sorry, y'all, we were
All
not
the
supposed
aliens
to do.
gotta go through Hal. He's the Green Lantern. He's my little green card collector, my little Green Lantern.
Quite possibly the greatest Green Lantern to ever be,
possibly.
even though he is the
They said
greenest
I'd
of the
be
green.
good one, but they can't. I'd be too good. I can't be Green Lantern. They said I'd be too good.
Y'all, sorry, we just went into a Trump impersonation, but he's the DC's president apparently.
Yes, I know Sinestro. He was on my
met-
council.
The Bat, me and the Bat. He's very dark. He's not the greatest. I've seen him. He was on top of Trump Tower. He's
Not
pretty
very
much
good
an
man.
employee of mine. Not a great man. Works for
You
me.
talking about the Batman? Fake news. You're fake news. Batman.
He's not real. He's not real. Gotham, great town though. Greatest town at a time. Won a championship playing golf in Gotham. Not the greatest, kind of slimy. Quite possibly the slimiest of all the slimes. Okay, we're done. We're done. We we went off there for a second.
Wonder Woman be better if it was Wonder
stop.
Man. Am I right?
Oh my God! Stop. Presidents within the DC are real life presidents, and DC though then tends to make up cities that are within the real United States, and everything else across the world is pretty much real. They have a couple of cities: Gotham, Metropolis, Coast City. We know Coastal City, or where Coastal City? Where is
Star City.
Central
No,
Central City?
Central
Where
City,
Central City is where Barry's from. But then everything else, like I don't know if Rushville, Nebraska is a real place. Probably not. But like Louisiana, Nebraska is there. Metropolis is in Delaware. We know that a lot of like Stryker or one of the jails is in Louisiana. So they try to use like real stuff. In Marvel, they make up presidents that are characters within their shared universe. But for the most part, all of their cities are real cities. Battle of New York, Harlem, Brooklyn, Queens. But they make up fake countries. Latveria, Wakanda, wherever Wanda and them are from, Madripoor.
But we also have Juhan Parm. Oh man, what was the place in Superman? Well,
Jodhpur, and that was new. Yeah, that was cool that they actually did have two made up like Middle Eastern countries, because I don't think that they typically do that. I was just trying to compare that they were like they kind of also do the flip of each other, but somebody was like really honing in on like the political stuff that's kind of peeking its head out in this show, and it's not hard. It's not like trying to drive any type of political stuff. It makes the show really interesting. I mean, you have an Indian woman and an African American man discussing how they have an affair, and like her qualms with the white man and his qualms with the white man, and it was cool, like you said, to see them like bounce that off of each other. And so yeah, I don't think that in 2016 DC Trump gave Macon his land, and that was what I think this person on Discord was leaning into, maybe. And so that's interesting. I think they'll stay kind of far away from ever mentioning Donald Trump on
for now.
For DC related stuff. I don't think they ever will. I think you can see that James leans a certain way by the fact that he showed Barack, and that's that. And that's all we'll talk about politics for the rest of the time on the greatest podcast to have ever happened in the greatest world. That's mine. Good night, America.
All right, now we're going to move on to that was so funny. We're going to do the next one, unloading the gun. This is where we discuss kind of the greater DCU, and this is the one you're most excited for. Tell me about it. Tell me the drop that I know you're excited that they mentioned.
Oh, I am raising the roof, because what got my heart beating was when Hal was starting to figure out, like, what's up with this hospital? Like, he was the only name on the sign-out form. That's weird. He noticed that there was plastic on, like, medical equipment. It's like almost like they brought it all in just for him. But he asked the sheriff, like, where she's from. He said, "You don't scream Rushville, Nebraska." And she said, "I'm from Gotham." I'm from Gotham. Like, it was just a throwaway line. Like, it didn't mean the biggest thing in the world for Matt File.
Did you hear what else she said in episode 1? I did not catch this. I saw it. Someone else said it to us. In episode 1, she's on the phone talking to someone. She was like, "Okay, sounds good. Tell Barb's I said hi." Talking about Barbara Gordon.
Well, it could be Barbara Gordon. It would make sense now that she's... Yeah.
Ex-police officer from Gotham, I'm going to assume that's Barbara Gordon she was mentioning in there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And so, there's more to her. Like, there's so much more to her that, like, one, I think she's going to end up on the right side of the fence. I don't think that means she's going to end up like with Hal. Well, no, she's not. Hal's dead. But I think just from her calling John and us seeing that, like, her name's Carrie, correct?
Yes,
With a
Carrie.
K, Kerry. I think she's a good person, but I also think that like she saw some shit in Gotham and wanted to get away from it and wanted to move like to the middle of nowhere, and now she's dealing with this. And so, one, you're not going to tell me otherwise until you tell me otherwise. She knows Batman. She knows Batman. Like knows him. I don't think she knows Bruce Wayne is Batman, but she has hit the freaking bat signal. I'm
That'd be
yeah.
cool.
I think that is going to be a part of like some of the stuff that connects. I do think she knows Barbara and Commissioner Gordon. And I think the fact that like she's from Gotham is going to like be really. I tried after she said that, I went back to mentally like where she was like, you got to stop cutting my legs out from under me, because I was having some trouble with the ditziness of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, now that I know she's from Gotham, like that lands a little bit different. Like that lands
That's what
more
the Batman
like
was doing.
yeah, like and like well that Batman was like involved in so much of her stuff, as well as like that she just kind of doesn't take shit from anybody because she's from Gotham. She's already seen the worst of the absolute worst, and so this is bad. She's dealing with aliens instead of like whatever is going on in Gotham, not aliens. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, she's gonna be a way bigger player than like we kind of think she is, and I think that maybe moving forward, she's kind of like an Agent Hill maybe type person. Like she doesn't, what I would think like Renee Montoya would turn into eventually in this universe is what I'm kind of thinking Carrie will be for a little bit. Like there's always like this detective that's out there that doesn't have superpowers that like they all like lean on a little bit. It's usually Montoya or Barb when she's like Oracle, but like we haven't see I know that stuff. We haven't even gone through any of that.
Yeah.
I think Barb is walking still right now. I don't know if she's been Batgirl. I don't think so. I think all that stuff needs to like happen.
Yeah.
I think she just needs to be a cop that Carrie knows. But yeah, Carrie's worked some Batman cases in Gotham. I think
Yep.
I think she knows Batman and Clayface. I want to think
Yeah.
that anyway. So that was
Yeah.
that was cool.
That was cool. It was fun. I'm gonna keep us moving here because we're running low on time. Like you said, we got the Coast City mention. We got a lot more lore with Sinestro, what happened there. Lore with the Manhunters killing Anton's people. So we're getting all this lore of like the space universe before Gotham. So that's
that
really
gun,
fun.
dude.
That gun, what was going on there. Also, another big little Easter egg was the password being Mogo doesn't socialize, which is Mogo is a lantern that is a planet, like a lantern planet himself. And there's a whole comic thing where that's from where like the panel even says that all the lanterns were going to meet, and they're like, "What about Mogo?" And it says Mogo doesn't socialize. And so that was a fun little Easter egg for that.
Yeah, I had no idea. I knew it meant something, but I didn't know what that meant. So
Yeah,
you're saying
so
there in
Mogo
comics
is a
there is
lantern.
like ego, but he's a planet. He's
Look him up right now. Look Mogo,
I will.
the lantern. Yeah. Those were some little fun quick hitters for unloading the gun. New this week that I want to do with you is because I think it would fit so well with the style show. I want to do a quick 10-15 minutes theory section right here where we theorize what is going on in the show, what we think is going to happen. And I
I've
feel
done a
like
lot
you've
of that.
got a lot of this, so I'm gonna let you take it from here. Give me your theories.
So one I kind of talked about earlier. I think the biggest one is that I don't think that Sinestro has become the Yellow Lantern yet, but I think it's gonna happen in this series because there is a shot that we've seen in some of the trailers where it looks like John and Hal are walking in like a desert almost, and everything's like purposely like yellow. It doesn't look like how you would see somebody walking through a desert, if that makes sense. Like the ground almost looks like it would be like Martian. Like it didn't look quite as like sand. I don't know. Again, could be completely out there, but it feels like to me that's gonna play some big part. I don't know if that, like you said, does that lead to Parallax? Does Parallax somehow?
See, I think my theory is I think Hal is somewhat being influenced by the yellow.
Yeah, I think
ring.
that too. But
I think that's what's going on with him.
I was trying to theorize last night with Valerie, just kind of based off of the knowledge from the Ryan Reynolds movie. I was trying to explain to her like Parallax in that movie was more or less like Eliath in Loki. Like it was just this big, just engulfed entity. It like had a face, but like it didn't form into a body. It was like something
Right.
that like engulfed planets essentially. And I was like, I could see something like that being a weapon that like Brainiac uses, but I don't know from the flip side. I don't know enough lore if like Parallax would do something like that, like be like a henchman. That doesn't make sense to me.
No,
either.
Parallax is basically all the lanterns have like their entity that is the, how do I say it? The god, in a way, just to put it simply, the god of said
like
color.
Captain Planet, Earth, Wind, Fire. Yeah, I get you.
And Parallax is the said god of yellow. So
Gotcha.
that would be kind of
What
like.
is the god of green? Anyway,
You keep going while I'll look it up.
Yeah, as you look that up, like it feels like in some way, shape, or form, like we're heading in the direction of at least that color being presented to us. I sent you a text the other day because you have brought up red, blue, all these other group of lanterns that I know nothing about, and I was like, am I that stupid that it's just hitting me today that the show is purposely called Lanterns instead of Green Lanterns? And is that because we're going to get introduced to other lanterns? And you were like, I kind of think so. And I was like, why am I just now that clicking? You know what I mean? I just thought it was like cool. They were just doing a cool thing by calling it Lanterns. And so I think there's more to that. I think there's more to the whole color thing that I don't know a lot about that you do. And so it'll be interesting to see how that comes to light. I also, something is going on with that town. Do I think that like most of the people that were probably in the town hall for that meeting are human? Yeah, I don't think the whole town is alien.
It's
but it is.
By the way, real quick, it's ION. Ion. It looks like a giant fish, basically.
I gotcha.
Continue. Yep.
And so something is obviously going on with the town. Like, is it that like the government is really so like hands-on with it that like they're the ones coming in and out, like putting equipment up, or is it aliens? Like Val kept being like, it's Super Wanda, and I was like, I don't think something has overtaken a city where like people are like trapped. I don't think that's happening. But yeah, something crazy is going on with the town that we have no clue of. And then obviously we're
Give me
still
your theories for the NDA. I know you had one.
That's where I was going next. I was like, and then obviously like we're throwing around who it is. My first guess is Guardians. I think that after whatever Sinestro did and killed, they were aware that that crash happened, and that's where I get lost. Like, because the crash happened, and then he tried to do his overtaking, right? Isn't that how we're supposed to think? So yeah, would the Guardians have come down pre the whole Sinestro thing? Huh. Maybe I do think it's more of the government. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because Abin Sur was there, and Abin Sur is technically was still serving as our guardian.
So I'm a white flag off the board. I don't think it was Flag. I think it would be somebody above Flag. You know, like it's either Waller or it's the Guardians. Like that's where I am right now. I don't know enough about like big government names. Like I barely know like Maxwell Lord, and he's just like a businessman, you know. It doesn't seem like something. Yeah, the only other person would maybe be Lex, but I don't
I
know if Lex had that much power in 2016.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm going with a guardian, or it's someone on the man, like maybe the Manhunter himself, whoever he may
Mm.
be. I don't know. Um, I don't think it's like a even a government entity we even met yet. If so, it could
Do
be a
you
whole new
think?
character that we haven't met yet.
Do you think that the girls could have the wool pulled over their eyes so much, Carrie and Zoe, that they're married to aliens?
How do they know if they just stay as that for the rest of their life to blend in? You would never know.
Well, right, because Zoe, I has this been said? Zoe is not the lawyer's mother, right? Was that addressed? Like this has got to be his like second wife.
Well, I'm not gonna be honest with you. Just by looking at him, I'm gonna go with no. The
They
guy's
don't look
white as
like a
day.
they don't look like a mixture of the dude with the mustache is who I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the
Um
son. He don't look because she's what, Indian, like from
she's
India.
she's like from India. It's yeah. I looked all that up because I didn't know if she was at first I thought she might be Native American and I was like that could tie into all the stuff that Macon is saying, but yeah, she's from over the
And their
pond.
son looks nothing like that.
Oh no, yeah, he looked like he went to Ole Miss Law School.
Yeah,
And so that's strange. Like we don't know if Macon for sure like had a child with a woman. Then essentially, like
yeah.
it
So,
could
do
be
you
that
think the
he's his
Makins
son.
are main hunters at all,
For
or
a
do you think they're
little bit,
normal
I
humans?
at first I thought that they were aliens, but then when John spoke to Zoe at the diner, I don't think that her and Carrie are, and that's why I said what I said. Like are they getting the wool pulled over their eyes and like the Makins are and the whole militia is. That
Right.
seems like a whole lot. I feel like the militia has to be getting made to kill aliens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because why would you be teaching aliens how to shoot like machine guns? Like they're gonna have more advanced weapons than that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
It's got to be that, dude. I'm telling you, it's got to be some good old boy shit where like he truly is like, I'm gonna protect this land at every cost, and he just like got people that are willing to do that. Yeah, the way that the guy was talking to Hal when like he pulled up trying to go, and the guy, that's those are humans, dude. That's not alien. Like they're
Yeah.
riding horses. I just don't believe that they are aliens. But there is some other alien entity in that town happen. Something is happening for sure. And we
Yeah.
know that we have 4 or 5 other aliens with just Anton.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. One will keep us going. I think you're correct there. Something weird is going on there.
I'm
Not
so
sure what it is.
confused.
It's been fun.
I'm so
To
confused.
end us off, let's do our episode ranking. Last week, I believe we did a 9 out of 10, correct?
Yeah.
This episode, how do you rank it? I want you to go first.
Man, I don't know. I don't. There's got to be an episode that's better than this, but it's hard. I'm gonna give this episode a 9.6. I just don't know if it's got much more room to go. It probably does, but this is so good to me. Like I'm just like stuck in this like super like Homer. I love everything mode, but it's just
Yeah,
where I am.
I'm with you because I think the whole time I was watching, I'm like, okay, if I were to rank, like, it got to like I had 10 minutes left. I'm like, okay, this is really good, really phenomenal. I think if I had to rank this, I'd still put it probably below episode 1. It's about an 8. Then we got to like that final 10 minutes, and I was like, nope, this is great. This bumps it back up to a 9. I don't want to be a 10 yet because I want the
Yeah,
room to
same.
grow, and I think there can be, but I don't think we're crazy enough to say that
I
we had
thought it
solid
was
back-to-back
better.
9s.
I personally thought it was better. Yeah, we're not crazy one for thinking it's a 9. I personally liked it better than 1 because there were so many turns and curves where you were guessing stuff. And I think there's just going to be more of that. I think at some point we're going to have a couple of steps back. I don't know when. I hope it doesn't happen. If it doesn't happen, then this is going to be like one of the best television series to have ever happened. And that will be sick if it's that. If we are consistently at 9s every week, then chef's kiss. I don't see that happening, but I don't know. Who knows? Like, maybe the guy episode, like, people are like, okay, like, some people might not like having that much guy. I could see, maybe.
Yeah.
I would love it because I think he's hilarious. But, no, I think everything is as good as it possibly can be right now, dude. Thank you, guys. Please remember to subscribe and follow us on all social media by searching at the Sons of Gunn Podcast. And until next week, remember to always look up and point that green ring to the sky. Let's go!